show you how I do it. So you want to turn your heat on to pretty low. You always want to cook your eggs low and slow. If you cook them too quickly, they're going to dry out too quickly. There's more of a chance they're going to be overcooked. So whether or not you like your yolks fully cooked or a little bit runny, you do want to keep the heat pretty low under your egg. And then I'm just going to put in a little drizzle. I mean, it's not even a tablespoon. Just kind of enough to get a little bit of a coating on your pan. And then same with the butter, not even a tablespoon. Not sure exactly how much a pat of butter is, if that's a tablespoon or not, but you know, just a really thin sliver of butter. And put that in the pan and then just kind of swirl it around. Let it melt. When you're using butter, you want to not add your eggs until the butter has kind of stopped sizzling and bubbling and just kind of settled down a little bit. There's a lot of moisture in butter, so that kind of crackling is the moisture evaporating out of the butter. You're not going to get that as much when you use the oil in the butter, but as you can see, I don't have a lot in here. I'll use a little bit more when I'm making an omelet or something, but for an egg, you don't really need that much. So then, take your egg. You always want to crack your egg on a flat surface. You don't want to do it on the edge of the pan or the edge of the counter because you can push eggshell and bacteria that's on that eggshell into the egg. You want to wash your eggs just before cooking them, especially if you have eggs from your chickens. They last a lot longer if you don't wash them. You just want to bang it on the counter and then carefully break it into your pan. And you should start to hear sizzling right away. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear that. And then that's pretty much it. The fresher your egg is, the more the white will hold together. With older eggs, the whites get a little bit runny, so you might have to kind of use your spatula to keep them all in place. I don't really mind if the egg spreads unless I'm making something like an egg sandwich where you want it all to stay on the bread. And then just kind of slowly let your egg cook. Just takes a couple of minutes. You always want to make sure that the white is cooked so it's not opaque anymore, so it's a solid white. And then the yolk is a personal preference, how much you want it cooked. I'm not a huge fan of the runny yolk. A lot of times I'll just kind of break the yolk and let it spread around a little bit. The egg cooks quicker that way and you end up with not a runny yolk. But these are gorgeous. I mean, if you don't raise your own chickens, look at the color in that yolk. That is an egg from happy chickens that play outside in the grass. So while that's cooking, I'm just gonna grab a plate. And I mean, as you can see, this egg it's not sticking to the pan at all. It's sliding around pretty well. Probably could have used even a little bit less. And I don't know if you can see my flame, probably not, but it is a pretty low flame. I'm getting a little bit of brown crispy on the edges. Not a lot though, because I did use the oil-butter combination. If you want, you can cover the pan to cook the yolk a little bit more. Like I said, I just sort of like to break it and squish it down a little bit, because then the yolk does cook a little bit quicker if you don't want any runny yolk. And at that point, it's up to you. Just keep cooking until the yolk is fully cooked. If you want to do an over easy egg, then you're just going to flip it over, and you've got an over easy egg, and that'll cook. I mean, that doesn't even need much more than a minute to cook the other side. I'd say that's done. So at that point, we turn off our heat. We slide the egg into the pan, and then I'm just going to grab a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and there we've got an over easy egg. As you can see, I did get some of the brown around the edges. If you use just butter, you're probably not gonna get as much as that, but the crispy, crunchy brown is really, really good. But you still get the richness of the butter, the flavor of the butter. And so either butter or oil. I use a combination of both, or you can use heavy cream. This is a life changer. Instead of using butter or oil, just pour a little bit of heavy cream in the bottom of your pan, really just enough for a thin coat. Crack your eggs into it. You will have the creamiest, richest, most beautiful fried eggs you've ever seen. So stay tuned for another video on that and I'll show you that. But in the meantime, oil or butter, your choice. No wrong choice, no right choice, just whatever appeals to you.